What's going on? Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and coming up here on today's show, we're going to get into Todd McShay's big board. Now, if you haven't already got started with our show sponsor, Manscaped, dude, what are you waiting for? Head on over to manscaped.com/chat where you can get free shipping and 20% off the best male grooming products out there. I personally use them every single week, and my balls, they tell me thank you every single day. Now, let's go through McShay's big board here, starting out at number 1, defensive end Aidan Hutchinson from Michigan. He struggled against Georgia, but this guy, he really never gives up on a play. He had 14 sacks this season. I think he's going to be a phenomenal NFL player. Coming in at number 2, Kayvon Thibodeaux, another edge rusher out of Oregon. Personally, I think he has higher upside than Hutchinson, but a phenomenal pass rusher with great speed and size. At number 3, offensive tackle out of Alabama, Neal, who, if you want to look for the top tackle in this year's draft, it's him. I mean, it's really as simple as that. Great left tackle. You're going to get to see him here in the national championship game. At number 4, Derek Stingley Jr. And I'm actually probably one of these guys that's a little bit lower on him because of how inconsistent he has been. Great tape in 2019. Wasn't all that good in 2020. For me, if you're going to be a top 5 overall prospect, I want to go to bed every single night being like, you know what? This guy is a can't-miss type of dude. And unfortunately, at number 4 here, it does make me a little bit nervous. Now, I'm just simply giving you guys my overall reaction to Todd McShay's big board. If you guys don't like what I say sometimes, hey, please let me know down in the comments. Now, the first thing that I'm going to ask you is this. Who will be the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft? You think it's going to be Hutchinson? Is it going to be a quarterback, maybe like Kenny Pickett? Find out when he's about to go. Let me know who will be the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. Now, to make sure that you're tuned in and you know who's going to be the number 1 overall pick, we're going to be live here on Chat Sports, and we go live every single year for the draft. 4 straight years of the number 1 most watched NFL draft content. Also, here's a fun little tip. We get the picks before you see them on ESPN. We get the picks before you see them on television. So if you want to know who's going to be that number 1 overall pick before all your buddies, all your friends, hit that big red button that says subscribe. Turn on those notifications. I don't want you to miss it. Let's go to number 5 here in McShay's big board. Kyle Hamilton, free safety out of Notre Dame. Super versatile player. Can't wait to see where he ends up. He honestly reminds me a lot of Derwin James. Let's go to Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. The top receiver. We're going to get to see him in the national title game. Last time he played Georgia, 7 catches, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Let's go to DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. Love his versatility. There's going to be a lot of coaches that love that he can pass rush on the inside, can pass rush on the outside. He will be the first defensive tackle taken. Another player that you're going to get to see in the national title game, Nakobe Dean. This dude is one of the most versatile linebackers that I've seen in quite some time. Led the Bulldogs with 5 tackles and a sack up against Michigan. And, yeah, you're going to see a lot more of him up against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this is Todd McShay's big board. The reason why it's a big board is because McShay uses Manscaped. If he didn't use Manscaped, it would be Todd McShay's little board. Now, let's just say your board looks a little small. Head on over to manscaped.com/chat where you guys can save 20% off and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. One of my personal favorite products is the Lawnmower 4.0, which you can get by itself, or you can actually go ahead and get with the perfect package. Seriously. Look up the performance package. It's going to make your package absolutely perfect. You get ball toner, ball deodorant. You see this thing over here? It trims up all the hairs inside of your nose. I believe it's called the whacker. Yes. Wearing the boxers right now, I would show you, but I'd be worried that that'd be the only thing you'd want to see the rest of the show. They're that amazing. Most comfortable boxers you'll ever buy. The link is down there below. It's manscaped.com/chat. Promo code chat. 20% off, and you get some free shipping. All right, guys, what about number 9 here in McShay's big board? Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Love his versatility, love his burst. He's going to be an absolute star on Sundays. Let's go to Charles Cross, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. I'm starting to watch a little bit more tape on him. He's a phenomenal tackle. The issue is this. He's not as good as Neal, but he is then, I would say, by far the next best, closest number 2 offensive tackle in this year's class. Let's go to David Ojabo, edge rusher out of Michigan. You want to talk about upside? It's this young man right here. He hasn't been playing for football all that long, but he's shined when it mattered the most. And I really, really, truly think you could go back and look at a player 2, 3, 5 years down the road, and you're like, I can't believe that guy potentially went outside the top 10. Let's go to Drake London, wide receiver out of USC, 6'5", really, really tall dude. Played college basketball for USA actually in 2019 and 2020. Suffered a pretty wicked injury at the end of this season. But if you want a big outside receiver that can really go up and high point the ball, he reminds me a lot of Alshon Jeffrey before Alshon Jeffrey got hurt. Physical, love his red zone presence. Now, what do y'all think? Because unfortunately, busts, they happen every single year. And if you're busting right now after that Manscaped read, you're welcome. So who do you think is going to be the biggest draft bust this year? I really think it's going to end up being Stingley, the cornerback out of LSU. It could also be a quarterback, but if you disagree with me, go ahead and let me know. Let's go to the center here, Tyler Linderbaum. And this dude is an absolute stud, probably the best center prospect that I've seen in quite some time. Edge rusher from Georgia, number 14 on McShay's big board, Travon Walker. You're going to get to see him up against Alabama. Really good hybrid defender who plays off the edge and on the interior defensive line. 5 sacks this season, 6 tackles for loss, 19 pressures. Pretty impressive. Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I loved, even though Cincinnati lost to the Crimson Tide, I loved what I saw from him this past week. If anything, his draft stock's going to continue to just go up and up and up, and if I can get an extra spoon of that sauce, I'm all about it. First quarterback off the board, it's Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. I don't know about you. I would love to see Pickett end up going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe just taking over from Ben Roethlisberger. Now, Pickett isn't a phenomenal athlete. He doesn't even have all that great of a strong arm, but he is so smart. His pocket awareness, he's really going to be a good pro. I just don't know if he's ever going to be worth a first-round pick. Let's go to number 17 here, Matt Corral, who, unfortunately for him, suffered a pretty wicked knee injury. All the reports have come out that said he's going to be, or ankle injury, that he's going to be okay. I really hope he is, because when I look at a lot of these quarterback prospects, I think he has the highest upside. Let's go to number 18 here, Devin Lloyd, and this dude could play safety. He could play linebacker. I mean, he's just all over the field. He really, truly can do everything. I mean, listen to some of these numbers. 96 tackles, 8 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 7 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. That's tied for most among all linebackers. Devin Lloyd is the real deal. Let's go to George Karlaftis, defensive lineman out of Purdue. This guy wins with power, which does make me a little bit nervous at the NFL level. 4.5 sacks this past season. And even though he would get double-teamed all the time, I don't like to just look at the numbers, but the fact that he wins with power, he does make me nervous. He needs to go on a good football team. Number 20 here in McShay's big board, Roger McCreary, cornerback out of Auburn. I personally think he's at his best in man coverage, and he's really good at getting receivers to not run the correct routes. Long, lanky, physical. If you like those long, lanky, physical cornerbacks, you're probably going to hear some people can try to compare him to Richard Sherman. I don't see Richard Sherman. I see a lesser version of that. But this dude, he has a lot of great skills and talent that you're looking for. Now, if there's another prospect out there that you guys want me to go ahead and look into, please don't be afraid to hit me up on IG. I'm at MitchellRentz365. This is not my big board list. It is McShay's big board. Another guy who's a great follow, Tom Downey. He's our NFL draft expert here at Chat Sports. You can also go ahead and hit him up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Let's go to number 21 here on McShay's big board. It's Ikem, and I always try to get his last name right. Ekwonu, offensive lineman out of North Carolina State. They're going to say that he can play tackle. I personally just think he's going to end up being an offensive guard in the National Football League. Let's go to Chris Olave, the second receiver here from Ohio State. It's kind of a crazy thing that Jameson Williams at one time was actually a receiver at Ohio State, ended up transferring to Alabama. Anyway, though, Olave's greatest thing is he just finds ways to get open, which if you could put him on a team that has a very good quarterback and he can be a solid wide receiver too, because I don't know if he'll ever be a wide receiver one, he's going to really dominate. Let's go to Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback here from Clemson. And Jeremy said, look at the catch in the picture. It's very impressive. Now, he doesn't really get too many opportunities because teams don't really throw the ball his way. I mean, I believe he's only allowed 1 catch this season of over 20 yards. Another great corner out of Clemson. Wide receiver here from Penn State, Jahan Dotson comes in at number 24 on McShay's big board. He's a bit undersized, but his ability to just run a route and then cut up is really impressive. Very quick, twitchy type of player. I don't want to throw out the comparison of Tyreek Hill because nobody's Tyreek Hill, but his quick twitchiness honestly reminds me a lot of Kadarius Toney. Speaking of Kadarius Toney, he played at Florida. Well, what about career Elam defensive back out of Florida as well? Now, the old saying is this: don't judge the helmet, judge the player. But anytime I see a cornerback out of Florida in round one, it does make me a little bit nervous. He's got great instincts. He's very aggressive. Tons of top speed, phenomenal athlete. He's number 25 on this big board. Let's go to number 26, Jordan Davis. I don't know if Jordan Davis is the largest man I have ever seen, but at 6'5", 340 pounds, you're going to be able to watch him up against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Look for number 99. You're not going to be able to miss him. Now, he's probably best fit for a 3-4 front, but his versatility and his athletic ability for his size, I actually also think you could put him in a 4-3. Let's go to Malik Willis here, quarterback from Liberty. I get it. He played at a small school, but with the fact that the quarterback class isn't that strong this year, I think that helps out Willis. I personally believe he's going to go in round one. His arm strength there, his ability to be able to run, he can do a lot of good things with the football. Fun prospect. Personally, I would like him to do the Patrick Mahomes route where you sit behind a veteran quarterback in year one. Let's see what he can do in year two. Let's go to Trevor Penning here, offensive lineman out of University of Northern Iowa. And overall, this dude is gigantic. 6'7", 320 pounds, and he really bullies defenders. He needs better footwork, which definitely makes me a little bit nervous about him potentially playing left tackle in the NFL. I could actually see this guy getting kicked over to right tackle at some point. Now, obviously, we got 4 more players to go ahead and break down here on McShay's big board, but what I'm curious about is who your favorite team is, and who do you want your favorite team to go out and draft? Now, there's some teams that don't have a first-round pick. Seahawks, Rams, I get it. If you want to let me know who you would like them to get maybe in the later rounds, hey, that's what these shows here are all about. Like, I'm a Raider fan. I would love to see the Raiders go out and get a solid tackle, maybe a wide receiver. Can you get a guard at some point? A lot of positions. Some people might even say a quarterback. That's the type of example I want. So let me know who you want your favorite team to go out and get. Coming in here at number 29, a wide receiver out of Arkansas that I'm really starting to like more and more the more tape I watch on him. Concentration drops are probably the biggest knock on him, but if he could clear that, he's got the body, he's got the size to be a true number one receiver at 6'3", 225 pounds. Remember the name Andre Johnson. That's the upside that I think this young man has. Let's go to Trey McBride, tight end out of Colorado State. And I like seeing some hype here from tight ends. Now, usually tight ends don't play as well in year one, but this young man had 90 catches, 1,121 yards. Very impressive being able to catch the football at 6'4". You're looking at a very good ball-catching tight end at the next level. Let's go to Cameron Thomas, and I really think if you want to throw in the category of sleeper, I want you to listen up to Cameron Thomas right now. His ability to really do almost everything is what's going to really get him, I think, potentially in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Quickness, length, power, relentless motor. I really, truly believe he can play in any scheme. And then the last player here, offensive tackle from Ohio State, Nicholas Petit-Frere. Yeah, I believe I got that right. Solid overall player. His versatility might actually get him a little bit higher in a draft. The comparison I'm going to give is Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood, also, I was just told that his last name was French for little brother. Alex Leatherwood was a left tackle at Alabama. The Las Vegas Raiders took him to play right tackle, and for that reason, they said, all right, he's versatile, we can move him up. Petit-Frere was a right tackle at Ohio State in 2020, then got kicked over to left tackle in 2021. But that is Todd McShay's big board. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comments.